remember the gardens where our bones hold up the tomato plants, where our blood darkens the soil in perpetuity. 10,000 mad dogs break loose, and blood gushes like a swollen Nile after the rains in the mountains. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday,
there's this one song that goes like Polo, Polo, yesolara, yesolara, abiti teach Paruvine.
and I was crossing the Nile for, I don't know, the 100th time.
My visitors, you're all most welcome to Gulu. Gulu is the heart of northern Uganda. It is the face of the conflict.
And I believe actually people have that kind of sensibility, but in times of what is it? In times of confusion and panic, people, okay, either I get killed or you get killed, right? So how do we achieve that kind of sensibility?
The churches ran the schools, the residential schools, and many other agencies of the government ran schools, and so often those records are the only records many survivors have of their childhood, or the photographs they have of themselves or their parents or their grandparents sit in church archives. Not all churches have been forthcoming with those records. Not all government agencies have been forthcoming with those records. So we often have pieces of memory and history that people have a hard time accessing and have to essentially navigate the systems that are designed to oppress them and take away their agency, to assert their agency in them. So
the spirit, but with the way they died, and sort of be able to not be boxed into the trauma, but be able to sort of feel that we are able to embody that and continue living as a result of all that part. And we understand that the sacred is you, and I'm sacred as well, and you are sacred, and we're all sacred here because we all embodied all those before us.
Restore all this. Then all this, what we are now experiencing actually, the Lembangos, or whatever it is, the Jericho Labade, those born in captivity, would not be there because the divine code is there.
We suffered a lot. When the rebels come in Uganda, they first attack us. When they are going back, they go through us. They abduct children, they loot our foodstuff, they kill people. So we have suffered a lot.
We have a question, and what makes memory transformative? I guess we are all thinking that memory can be transformative of ourselves, that can be transformative of communities.
We are called as a transformative memory partnership. We think about how memory can be used as a way to transform how we maybe think about ourselves after periods of violence and what that does to us, but also how it might help to transform our relationships to each other, how we see each other after violence and what it does to our relationships with each other, or how we want to be together as a group.
But also as Justice and Reconciliation, we are trying to show how some of those recommendations should be implemented to create impact. We will work with the community to provide answers to issue of disappearance. We will work with these victims to answer issues to do with the children born in captivity, whose parents are battling with their identity.
Specific categories of victims in the community. This category of victims were affected in a unique way. I know everyone was affected, but their case is a little bit different. For instance, like those who are abducted, like men and women that were abducted, and then children born from captivity, then victims of sexual gender-based violence. And so this unit has helped JRP to be gender sensitive in their programming and service delivery.
The day the massacre, the big massacre happened here in Atiak, the guns that were used were similar to what you see being displayed here. All the people who were killed using these little rifles.
Whenever I come to this place, I remember where I was abducted from.
What happened is we were 3 girls, and then immediately we saw soldiers coming from down. So the rest ran. One of the soldiers ran after me. And as he was chasing me, he was telling me that if you don't stop, I'm going to shoot you.
Memory does not mean creating more problems, but this is to make people transform, to make people avoid other worrying situations, and also to unite people so that they work together to get away from the problems.
That's awesome.
You'll be filled with that memory all the times. You could remember the past of the day, the time, the good time you used to have with them, when they were doing things. That memory is always there, makes that we have a connection with the day. It's like they watch us.
Ya wono malo ka ko bono deo ben borwon ki male ba charity chon cheti kamero onde do be kola da ma cheri polo do ni me chan ela me go ma ya kariane onde do be kola da ma cheri polo do ni kelo wa kana mambiro kwano bino keto tura ti poyo megi wa poyo mate dule me ario ena ye dulme angwen ena wakar ne mene rutit pagamente magen wongen civil someone members of government post
war reduces you to an extent that you even begin to question who you are. But if the ravages of war affect you to an extent that you even begin to question, am I really a human being?
What does it mean when reconciliation is being portrayed through documentaries, through movies, through cultural productions? but also what does it mean? Like, what does the word reconciliation actually mean? Or do we actually have to use the word reconciliation? Can we come up with different words that resonate more locally?
Finding the connections, even the transformations.
Yes, yes, that's it. You did it.
Okay, whoa, okay, whoa.
But my work as a poet reminds me that how we use language is important. Early in the 20th century, there was the Lamogi Rebellion. And we think of it as a point of pride, as a moment of resistance by the Lamogi people against the British. But in that rebellion, the British people gassed Acholi people in the caves. Many of them did not live. We think of it as a rebellion, it was a massacre.
I really want the world to know exactly what happened to us, because many people just don't know. And because they don't know, they probably treat us unfairly, don't even acknowledge we exist, or why we are the way we are. Our stories must be told, so that people can learn from it.
That this is the kind of local capacity that is very important in taking us forward as Acholi people.
Joe Mujuri we pole kinyeno gitano